Hey everybody, this is Steve O and Gail Saunders with SkinnyPost.com. We're bringing you the Offseason Buzz a couple days after the draft. We're going to run through some of the recent transactions, some signings, and some cuts. Adalius Thomas has been waived by the Patriots. Jason Campbell is now with the Oakland Raiders. We're also going to touch up on Terrell Owens, where we think he might fall, and Tebow Mania out in Denver. We're going to start with the recent signing of Oakland Raiders. Jason Campbell, who was released by the Washington Redskins, has signed with the Raiders as their potentially new starting quarterback. What do you think about that, Gail?
Well, I think it's a great opportunity for Jason Campbell to just have a new start, a new beginning. I mean, I feel bad for the guy. He's been under 8 different offensive coordinators in the last 10 years, dating back to Auburn. I think when you look at a quarterback, you want him to be able to mature in an offense. And when you're learning a different offense almost every year, you're not getting an opportunity to, use the best of your skills. So in Oakland, he has an opportunity to become the guy. We just hope that he has an opportunity to get players around him that can excel. So I mean, that's an issue.
It is funny that you say opportunity in Oakland in the same sentence. There's usually not a lot of opportunity in Oakland, but I like your positive attitude.
I'm gonna be positive. I mean, the guy is a gunslinger. He's been in the wrong offense for the last couple of years. He's not a West Coast guy. He's not a West Coast offensive guy. He needs to be in an offense that suits his skill set. So,
But what is his skill set exactly, in your opinion?
I mean, he's the guy who can throw the deep ball. He's an accurate guy. It's not like he's not accurate. If you give him some time, he was running for his life in Washington last year, and I think that rattled him. But he can throw the deep ball, and they got some speed out there in Oakland.
Do you think that Oakland will take a shot at Terrell Owens? Let's talk a little T.O.
T.O., he's got the swagger of a Raider. You definitely think, a guy like that could come in and it's kind of contagious. Those younger guys can look to him. He can teach them a lot. So T.O. a Raider. I mean, it's like a marriage made in heaven for Raiders fans.
Well, I think also, Chicago. I think the Bears could be a landing place for T.O. As we had discussed earlier, they need a weapon for Jay Cutler. They need some guys. And, T.O. may be able to show a Devin Hester how to run routes a little crisper and the nuances of being a wide receiver. And I think that it's just, they need somebody. And whether it's T.O. or not, I don't know. But Chicago could happen. I could see that happening down the road as we get closer to training camp.
Yeah, Chicago. I mean, Chicago's a good place for him. T.O. is not going to disrupt the locker room when you have Urlacher in the locker room, so it's nothing to worry about in that scenario.
Yeah. Well, let's go 180 degrees from T.O. and talk about Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow, the Mile High Messiah, as he's been dubbed, is leading all rookies in jersey sales already. He is becoming just a hot topic for all types of debate across the country. Some people say that Denver made a huge mistake on taking this kid in the first round, and others think it's just fantastic and he's got the potential to be outstanding. What do you think about Tim Tebow?
Tim Tebow, I think he's a great kid. He does wonders outside the football arena. He's the kind of kid that you'd want your son or your maybe your daughter today. Like he's the classic great kid. I think bringing him to Denver, it's bringing a whole different type of emotion. The guy's a positive guy, and I think in Denver, that's what kind of they need. Some positivity going on in Denver. Like it's been the last couple. It started out great last season, but at the end of the season, it just got a little shaky. And Tebow is just, he's a quality guy.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's a high character. A comment I heard a football guy make, and I find it very interesting, is a young coach that takes a young quarterback usually doesn't stick around to see him blossom. And I fear that, Josh McDaniels, if Tebow starts and if he comes in and plays right away and takes his lumps and if Denver goes 4-12 or 5-11 or even 6-10 a couple seasons while their young team matures, I mean, anyway you look at it, this is a young offense now. I mean, Eddie Royal and Jabbar Gaffney are your tenured guys. Brandon Stokely's probably going to be on the way out soon. So, who are the veterans? Daniel Graham's a team captain, but he's a tight end who's more of a blocker. So it's a young team. It's a young quarterback, young wide receivers, young running back. And when they mature and grow into being professional players, Denver could have a couple of bad seasons, and maybe McDaniels isn't around to see what Tim Tebow can become, or maybe he lets Orton, run the show for 2 years, and maybe they go 9-7, 10-6, and he sells Pat Bowlen on "I got a plan" type of thing. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out with Tebow.
Yeah, you definitely got to have a plan set up for him. My biggest concern with bringing him in was, like if Tebow sits the bench for a year and you gave up those picks, some of those guys could have actually been on the field. But they loved what he brought to the table, and that's the plan that they have. Trying to change the mindset, and he's a born leader. So maybe it might rub off.
Yeah, and you know what else is real interesting, real quick, is Tebow's left-handed. The best player on Denver's offense is Ryan Clady. Ryan Clady is a left tackle, so his blind side will now be dependent on the right tackle, which is Ryan Harris, who is good, but he's no Ryan Clady. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe that takes away a little something from, the offensive line, and they're not going to move Clady at all. So, maybe that changes the dynamic a little bit on offense. Probably not, but it's just an interesting thing to note, that kind of may take a little something away from Clady's value there. But anyway, as we move on, let's talk about some players who have been released recently. We have Adalius Thomas from the New England Patriots was let go, and some of the powers that be in the NFL are saying that he could be a New York Jet and reunite with his old Baltimore cohorts, or he could become a Miami Dolphin, as I don't know if they've shown interest. I know the Jets have. I haven't heard any word that the Dolphins have, but the Dolphins, in my opinion, make the most sense. They need help at linebacker. I know that Mike Nolan really liked Thomas in 2007 when he was in San Fran. He went after him pretty hard. He's the kind of guy who fits what he likes to do. And I think that could work, but the Jets have ties. The Jets like to sign people, so maybe that will work for them too. What do you think about Adalius Thomas?
I think the Jets have great interest. I think it'd be he would reunite with his old coach, Rex Ryan, and it's like basically they're trying to get the band back together. You got Bart Scott on bass, and you got Adalius Thomas on drums. I mean, it's a great place where they know his skill set already, and who better to utilize him than Rex Ryan. So
right. He knows what he's getting, and he knows what he's going to. And that like you say, that does pair up. But I would be surprised if the Dolphins don't jump in and try to do something. They need linebackers, and he's the type of player that Parcells likes. He's big, he's fast, he's aggressive, and I see that working out for them. I think that's where he'll end up. That's where I'd put my money if I was a betting man. All right, well, I'm Steve O, and this is Gail. We're bringing you the Offseason Buzz at skinnypost.com. We appreciate you stopping by.
And hey, big shout out to Joe Gone Pro. I just want to give you a shout out on YouTube. Oh.
All right, guys, be good, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for stopping by.